Hi, this is Richard C. I'm a math tutor here at Wyzant, and I'm answering a question submitted by a student who's found this question come up in their geometry class. This is basically an introduction to trigonometry. You'll see a lot more of this when you're in pre-calculus. But for now, we just need some SohCahToa here. And let me start with a diagram, which is always a good way to start. Whenever you have in geometry, whenever you're dealing with a word problem, you most definitely want to start with a diagram. So I'm going to start with this diagram here. And we have a sledding run. And we're told that it's 280 yards long. Oh, sorry. The run itself is 280 here. I almost put the 280 in the wrong place. At least that's where I think it should go. And a vertical drop of 18.5 yards. And they want to know the angle of depression. Okay, so let's first talk about the angle of depression. I'll change colors. I'm just going to extend this now into a rectangle. And we've got another right triangle over here in green. This is the angle of depression here. And if you remember, well, you're taking geometry, so you would remember that alternate interior angles of parallel lines are congruent, so you could use this angle here as well. But I'm just being sort of a little picky here and using this green angle. And I can copy this 18.5 here. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and use SohCahToa. I like to write it this way because it helps students to remember. The sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. And what we've got here is we've got an opposite over hypotenuse here. So let's call this x here. And so we're going to use sine because we have an opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of x is 18.5 over 280. And I have to solve this for x, so I'm going to take the inverse sine of both sides. And so this gives me x is equal to the inverse sine of 18.5 over 280. When I take the inverse sine of a sine, they cancel each other out. And you're just left with x. And on the right-hand side, it's the inverse sine of this ratio. So I'm going to get into my calculator now and find the size of this angle. I'm assuming they want this in degrees, so my mode setting on my calculator is in degrees, and now I'm just going to take the inverse sine. So inverse sine of 18.5 divided by 280, and I'm getting round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so it's 3.79 degrees. Okay, and that seems reasonable. That's a nice gradual decline. I mean, you are going down in a sled, but you're not in the Olympics, so I assume that this is a typical angle of depression for a situation like that. Okay, so that's all it is. It's just setting up your diagram, understanding what the angle of depression is, and then using SohCahToa and your calculator to finish it off. So I hope that was helpful to you, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.